All right, I see those numbers keep climbing. It's exciting. We're so excited you're here. And it's summer, no less. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for Ford Interns Tech Talk. My name is Brandy Joe. My pronouns are he, him. I am a part of Ford's University Relations team, and I will be your host for today's event. We hope you are having a fantastic summer, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and join our event. We have some amazing pre-submitted questions that you already gave prior to the event, and we'll be covering some of those today, whatever we can get to. But if you have a question you'd like to ask that you didn't submit in advance, you can use the Q&A or the chat feature, and you can pop those in there, and if we have time, we're going to get to them. Now, I imagine most, if not all of you, are pretty familiar with Ford Motor Company. Ford has been around for 117 years. We have over 186,000 employees working on everything from developing new iterations of our most popular nameplates, to building cutting-edge technology of fully autonomous vehicles, to focusing on sustainability and safety engineering, and so much more. At Ford, our purpose is to help build a better world where every person is free to move and pursue their dreams. It's pretty cool. We're working hard through the development of must-have battery electric vehicles, such as the Mach-E, the new BEV F-150, and the E-Transit to provide sustainable vehicles that are defining the future of the road. We've also made sure to provide some of our favorite nameplates in hybrid forms. Now, we've also been working with innovative partners like Google and groundbreaking technologies like self-driven vehicles to propel forward the future of mobility. We at Ford are embracing technology. We're putting data and software first to unleash the power of AI to push boundaries and to advance workplace technology and workspaces. We're working in new ways, and we're integrating software and innovative forms to push the boundaries of Ford's transformation, to unlock a personalized customer experience, and to drive disruptive, data-driven opportunities. If you're here and you have a passion for technology, for security, data, coding, or design of so many different types, including accessibility, application, web design, there is a spot for you here at Ford. Now, some of the projects you could be working on, you could be a designer working on the applications for the next Mach-E. You could be a software engineer coding on the new EV Lightning or Bronco. So, enough of me talking. Let's meet some of this summer's interns to talk about the cool projects that they helped to contribute to here at Ford this summer. I'm going to have each of them tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to dive into what they've been up to at Ford this summer. So first, Jordan Grant. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where'd you go to school? What are you majoring in? And where are you interning at Ford this summer?
Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Grant. I'm a mechanical engineering major at Tuskegee University, and I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. And I've been working with the ADAS and robotics sector of Ford Motor Company.
Fantastic. How exciting. Sina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Sina Sadekian. I'm from Iran and I'm a graduate mechanical engineering student in UW-Madison. And I'm working in product development department focused on robotics.
Amazing. And last but not least, Justin.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Justin. I am a master's student at Virginia Tech. I'm from Northern Virginia, and this summer I'm working at Ford in the battery electric vehicle controls group. So we write the control software for the powertrains that goes into the F-150 Lightning, the Mach-E, and all of our upcoming battery electric vehicle products.
That's pretty cool. So now my first question that came into us is, tell us what is unique about Ford and what attracted you to work here. Justin, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. So Ford, is a very big company. Everyone knows the name Ford. So when I started to get into the automotive industry, I didn't always grow up with cars. I actually got my license really late. I think got it when I was 20. So definitely pretty late. But I really enjoyed cars, so I started looking at car companies, and Ford definitely is one of those nameplates that even if you're not into the industry. even beyond that, you've seen the EV space, the hybrid space is rapidly growing, and Ford is without a doubt right up there. I would say our only competitor right now really is Tesla. If you look at General Motors or any of the other companies here, a little bit behind. We've taken the step of electrifying our Mustang Mach-E, one of our most beloved nameplates, along with F-150. You know, these are big names that everyone knows, not just people who are into electric vehicles. So I think taking that first courageous step forward, and I can't share what's to come, but if we stepped this far forward in the first step, there's a lot more to come, and it's really exciting.
It is very exciting. Thank you. Jordan, what about you? What do you think is unique about Ford, and why did you decide to work here this summer?
The thing I love most about Ford is that it's a very family-oriented company. And when I was doing my research before my interview, I realized how integrated the family was into Ford Motor Company. And ultimately, they just want to make you feel comfortable. And I definitely feel that with my team, the robotics sector, just being virtual, they've been as supportive as they could be during unprecedented times. And I don't know, I love it.
It's so true. The Ford family here is amazing. Everyone I've met is amazing. When they say Ford family, I mean it's fantastic. So I love that you love that as well. Stina, what about you? What brought you to Ford, and what excites you about it?
Well, Ford is a well-known company, and like it provides endless opportunity for advancement. And also your managers, like especially like my manager was encouraging me to study like PhD through the Ford and do research for them. It was really exciting for me, and really I love working in the Ford.
Fantastic. All right, so now I think is the super fun part, which is to tell us about some of the cool things you've been working on this summer. I know all of you were really handpicked because you had some really amazing projects. So Jordan, why don't you tell us first, what are some of the cool things you've been working on this summer?
So basically, I'm working to introduce a new program with my department. Currently, they're working with Magic Draw, and I'm introducing our studio to them, which is a different machine database learning type of a system. So I'm giving them the guidelines because I do have past experience in R, and others may have experience in C++ or Java, etc. So yeah, that's my first project, and my second project is to also help work with Ford in figuring out how to block out people's faces during the imaging for your cars, the self-driving cars. So being able to identify a person's face and to also give them respect their privacy rights at the same time. So that's the project I'm currently working on. So I have like two different ends of the spectrum, but they're definitely technologically advanced, so to speak.
Heck yeah, they are. That's amazing. Sina, what about you? What are some things you've been working on this summer?
So nowadays, like more people are enjoying the convenience of getting like things delivered directly to their homes. And correctly, like package delivery is very labor intensive task. Additional driver needs to driving to the vehicle. Driver must go inside the vehicle and find the packages. So the solution to the package delivery challenge is called AIMS, that automated inventory management system. It is a like complete system designed to move the right package automatically to the driver at each stop. So my project was developing a scanning system to confirm the correct package has been unloaded and manages the inventory. Also, I worked on optimizing the mechanical design of the system.
Very cool. And Justin?
All right, so I've been working on mostly on the high voltage cooling system for our F-150 Lightning. So as you guys know, it's F-150 truck, but a battery electric version that's capable of towing and doing all the truck things that it needs to. So in our transition to battery electric, we want to make sure that we continue to give the capability that our truck customers expect. So make sure that the battery is properly cooled, our motors are properly cooled. We're not going to derate for it's too hot or you're subjecting it to pretty intense conditions, because that's what our truck's known for, and this one is no different. So high voltage cooling is mostly what I've been working on, along with some other code for some feature products that will be pretty exciting.
Cool. And what's the highlight of working on that been for you, Justin?
Well, it's working on F-150 is it's definitely a little bit can be intimidating sometimes, It's been the best-selling truck for so many years, and you want to continue that. So making sure that you think for the customer, like what is the customer going to use this for? Think of the possible like edge cases that they might run into, right? So like, I personally do not drive a truck, but I want to make sure that the whole team comes together and defines the requirements correctly. So that even in cases where it's like 8 years down the road, they're doing something, you want to make sure that the vehicle is still protected. So just working on one of the iconic nameplates is really cool.
That is awesome. What about you, Sina? What is working with that your AIM project? What has a highlight of that been for you? You're on mute. Sorry.
I didn't know that like Ford is working on delivery like systems, and so they are working on designing an autonomous system for delivering the packages. So there will be an autonomous robot, autonomous vehicle that it will go to the client's house, and then the autonomous system will bring the right package out, and then they are working on autonomous robots, digit robots, that they will deliver the package in front of the house.
Yeah, I've seen there's that video that's out, and you see the robot go up to the house and set down the package, and it's amazing. It's like, we're in the future. The future is now. It's so exciting. And what about you, Jordan? What are you're working on a couple of very cool projects. What are some highlights for you?
I guess what I like most about my department or my projects is just how much they make me feel like family. And the fact that it's a self-paced type of an assignment, so you don't have to work strict hours. They just want you to get the job done. And my supervisor is also extremely invested into my personal achievements, and he just makes sure that whatever that I'm doing at Ford, I can also take and put on my resume and to make myself a better candidate for anybody, especially Ford.
That's fantastic. All right, the next question that came into us is, how have you been able to explore and gain exposure to all the various teams and areas of focus in regards to tech at Ford during the course of your internship? It's kind of a long one. Does anyone need me to repeat it? All right, Justin, take it away. What is your response to that?
Yeah, sure. So one thing you quickly learn at a company like Ford is that like all the teams are cross-functional. I personally work on the control software team. We work very closely with our systems team, which gives us the requirements, interface. More on the customer side, they try to think of what the customer will need. They feed those requirements to us. But it's always a dialogue between us. It's not just like, oh, do this thing and I give them this thing. It's like it's always a conversation to make sure my job is easier, their job is easier, and ultimately we deliver a better product. On the other side is calibration. So once we develop the vehicle or develop the software that goes on the vehicles, they go out for testing, right? They want to make sure that it actually works in real world test cases. They tune some things for drivability, make sure the customers always feels like it's always feels good to the customer. That's something that we don't always get looking at our computer monitors. And we'll also work with teams from all across Ford, right? The more people that work together, the more capability we have. Like for example, we have a software in the loop simulation capability now. So instead of putting our software on the vehicle and testing it, that requires going to the vehicle, setting it all up, driving it around, then coming back, pulling the data off, looking through it. You can just load it to a virtual vehicle. It sits on your computer, right? You can run it faster than real time. Like what if you want to do a 1 hour drive? You can do that as fast as your computer wants to simulate a 1 hour drive. And then you can make an iteration, upload it again. You don't need to involve someone from the calibration team to go all the way to Arizona to get 90-degree temperatures. You can just flip a switch on your computer and it's all set. So the more people that come together at Ford, the more capability we have. And that's definitely something you just get naturally from the job. So that's really cool.
That is really cool. Jordan, what about you? How have you been able to explore and gain exposure to other teams and areas in Ford?
Yeah, most definitely. So my school, Tuskegee University, we're a very family-oriented school anyway. So when I got to Ford, I kind of found my Tuskegee Ford family, and I was able to, set up meetings, chat with them, get to understand their department, what they do, what interests I may have that can correlate with their department, and also just working with the project doing, robotics or whatever. I've also been able to reach out to other teams or other departments that may have what I need. So if I can't find an answer in my own sector, then, it's very encouraged that I set up a meeting, or this person can introduce me to somebody that may have an answer, which is in a completely different department. And just making myself known in that way. Like, hey, I'm Joy, and this is what I set out to do. This is what I do now. How can we work together?
Definitely. I love that. And Sina, how about for you?
So I had like meeting with other robotics teams, and I had the opportunity like get known about their project and like learn about their experiences and which softwares they are using. And also in couple times they invited me to their discussions, and like I was discussing them about their design and how they could improve their algorithm. It was really helpful for me to learn about other teams. Like I learned about like how that digit robot is working, how they want to deliver the packages, how like the algorithm is going to work if it is a traffic, that it will show other shortcuts for the driver to go.
That's awesome. Now, here's the next question that had come into us, and some of you have touched on it a little bit, but I would love for a little elaboration if you already have. Would you describe the work environment as supportive? For example, if you needed assistance, were people happy to help? So, Jordan, I think you've sort of already touched on this. You talked a lot about family, but I'm curious if you have anything to elaborate in regards to that, and how has the work environment been for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically my first day at Ford, I got assigned a mentor, so to speak. And she's just been there every single step of the way. Any question I had, any, anything, just anything I could talk about, personal stuff like, hey, I have this going on. Can we reschedule? She was very forgiving, very willing to just help. And it's also, I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone, and you all are an hour ahead of me. So she's even been working like over hours. It's just been amazing, really. And they make sure I have all the support that I need. Any questions I have are answered. It's, yeah, very supportive.
And in case you're out there listening and aren't aware, and I didn't mention it earlier, our internship both last summer and this summer has been 100% virtual. So that's why we're all coming to you from our bedrooms. And I really wanted everyone to show sort of their natural environment that we're in. This is how we have worked these past 2 summers. And, we're hoping things will be different next year, but we have been virtual. And so email and WebEx that you're in this event now, but that's also like our chat program. So if any of the rest of you of the interns are like me, I have a whole bunch of chats set up in my WebEx chats. You can set them up by groups and have individuals, and you can certainly just send someone a quick chat and get a quick answer, which sometimes is much more efficient than email, I have found at least. Sina, what about you? Have you found it supportive here at Ford? And if so, like, are there examples of how you've felt supported?
Yep. In the first weeks of my internship, like my manager sets one-on-one meetings with the team members. So they describe their projects and in which areas they have like experiences and what are their specialties. So since I knew that, so when I was facing with a problem, I would know I knew that from whom I should ask for help. And also all the time, like when I was doing finishing my project, I was sending my result to everyone to get feedback about from them and do the quick adjustments if I missed anything.
Awesome. And Justin, what about for you?
Yeah,
Have you felt the support here at Ford?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been interned twice now. So I've actually been here both summers, both virtually. And I definitely was like, a little bit concerned, right? Being virtual, like kind of distant from your teammates, you don't always get to meet all of them. But it's been nothing but, you come on, whether virtual or not, you're an engineer. You do the work that everyone else does. And, in that case, I'm inclined to help you, right? You help out your team. You're not any different. You're not just another intern. I'll just let them do this little project here and there. I work on real projects that I'm in the same meetings where we get assigned our tasks every week, and everywhere I needed help, they've always been helpful. We have our technical experts and our technical specialists that their job's primarily just to be a resource to the engineers. So they've always been great to reach out to, despite everyone that needs their help. They've always made time for me and everyone else. So yeah, they're really great.
That's awesome. And since you were an intern both last summer and this summer, and as you mentioned, both virtual, what were some differences this year than last year for you? And where did you intern last summer?
Yeah, so I guess starting off last summer, I interned in the hybrid electric controls group. So pretty similar. One group over. I actually had the same supervisor, so just in the same department. Um, so last summer, the internship was a little bit shorter. It was, really close to when we started our quarantine and started our lockdown. But this summer, it's a full 12 weeks. It's been really great. We have more social events. You can definitely tell that they've taken the feedback from last summer and really improved upon it. I'm actually not from this area, but I'm currently in the Detroit area to visit. So this is not my normal work. But it's really cool that the internship's virtual. It doesn't really matter where I am. I just took the weekend to drive up, and now I'm staying with some of our Ford College graduate program friends that I made from last summer. So we were all interns together. They joined the SEG program, and I have another year of school, my master's degree. So unfortunately, not yet, but soon.
Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome to the Detroit area. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
So what have some of your most memorable experiences been during the internship? Whether that's an event you attended, someone you've worked alongside, a relationship you formed, or if it's been a specific project. Justin, just since we're talking to you about your experiences, is there something that stands out to you during either of your internships as an experience that you value?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, like this trip up is pretty cool. I get to meet all the friends I made last summer. We're getting all together tomorrow on Thursday for a barbecue. So it's been fun. It's good to meet these people in real life and come to the area and see these people face to face. But I guess within work, it's also been really cool. We have our executive Ask Me Anything series where we get to talk with Jim Farley, Bill Ford, our CEO, and our chairman. I got to talk to Hao Tai Tang, who is our chief platform officer, and he leads like engineering, like our product development group, our purchasing group, and our line enterprise product management. A lot of different groups in Ford that are all central around engineering. And we had to have, not only did I get to be a part of the Ask Me Anything, but I also got to ask my question directly to Hal and talk to him a little bit beforehand. Honestly, the executive leadership team at Ford is really impressive. Every time I hear him talk, I'm always really motivated, and it's always really great to hear their stories and whatnot. And it's good to know that the people on the top, they care and they know what your life is like, and they're not trying to make it more difficult. They're really in touch with what's going on. They want to see the future of the company, not just like this year, next year. They don't want the stock price just to go up, cash in on their stock. They're here for the long haul. They really care about the future of the company. So that's really great.
That is great. And I mean, the interns at Ford are the future of Ford. So it's super exciting to have you here and providing, your talents and your opinions and everything about you is really helping shape where we're going to go. And that's awesome. Jordan, what about you? Have you had some standout experiences this summer?
So in my department, we do give a presentation, and just being able to talk with my boss, my boss's boss, and being able to sit down before the presentation and them to give me like valuable critiques and feedback about what do I need to edit, what should I mention, how it should look, those sort of things. It made me feel very important because I know their schedule is a pretty hectic schedule, and for them to just kind of clear it out just to make time for me meant a lot for me. And then the day of the presentation, everybody was just so like welcoming and open to what I had to say, very supportive. And I feel like, I made an impact within my department, even being virtual. And that meant a lot to me because virtual, I didn't really feel like I could have the same impact as I would in person just because I'm sitting behind a computer screen. but they made sure that I felt in that it was, that I was a part of the team and that whatever I had to contribute was also important, just as important as the people in person.
That's fantastic. And Sina, what about for you? What are some standout experiences?
So I managed to create a team and to participate in City of Tomorrow challenge. And we went to last phase. And later my manager helped me and also encouraged me to submit some invention disclosures. And this summer I managed to submit 2 invention disclosure. One of them was related to my City of Challenge idea, and the other one was related to our AIMS project.
And tell us, what is the City of Tomorrow Challenge?
So the City of Tomorrow Challenge is that you think about the mobility and the future of our country. So you give ideas about how the systems, how the future should be, and what improvements that they can do. And my idea was about EV vehicles, that they could have different parts of batteries, they could have a swappable batteries that in case of emergency, driver could swap the battery, and so they won't need to wait long time for road assistant, or I have seen in many videos that road assistants are just towing the EV cars, so, and which is inconvenient and time consuming. So this idea could help improving that EV cars, and people could transfer from the gasoline cars to the EV cars.
That's awesome. Jordan, Justin, did either of you happen to participate in the City of Tomorrow Challenge?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance this summer.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't able to. We had some technical difficulties in my department, so I just didn't have enough time.
No, that's fine. I was just curious. All right, so here's another question that came in that I think is really fantastic, and I think lots of people will be very curious of your answers. What did you learn this summer that you would not have learned in class? Like, what did you learn here that you couldn't learn in school? Jordan, why don't you kick us off?
Coding. I did have very minimal experience coding before my internship, but just having the opportunity to code after I started was extremely important to me because I know, the where the future is headed is more machine based, that sort of thing, and coding is an extremely valuable skill, and most people don't know how to do it. So just being able to learn a skill that's applicable anywhere I go, and that can also make me more hireable was just I like that. It was a major plus for me.
That's awesome. Justin, what about for you?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you learn here that you don't learn at school. Not to say that school is bad, but I think the difference is that when you're at school, you learn about the concepts. They really transcend everything. They transcend time. You always have new software, new capabilities, new technologies. But school teaches you how to think. Here, what I've learned is that it's difficult to have reliable systems. So at Ford and at a lot of auto companies, we want to make sure that our product not only works the first time, or works 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 100,000 miles, a million miles. So at school, I'm part of the EcoCar program, and we design our own hybrid electric vehicle based on a pre-existing combustion engine vehicle. That's fine. We're given 4 years. A group of college students can make a vehicle a hybrid. Will it drive the year after that? No, not really. So at Ford, it's really cool to see all the work that we put into making sure that our vehicles are reliable, because that gives people trust. Ford is a brand that we want people to trust. So all the work that goes into that is something I really appreciate having been here.
That's amazing. Sina, what about for you?
So I had experience with ROS, which is Robot Operating Systems, and programming in ROS. And so in Ford, I improved my skills in ROS, and I learned more about other features of the ROS. Also, I had experience with SolidWorks. However, in Ford, I learned how to use the CATIA. And also, if I had any questions, the team members, like my coworkers, were helping me a lot.
That's always great. All right, our next question that came in, what does the work-life balance at Ford look like for interns? Jordan, why don't you kick us off on that?
So in my department, I can't really speak for all departments, but
Of
it's pretty
course.
much self-based. So it's like, hey, this is your project, this is your assignment, these are the things or the steps I want you to take to complete the assignment, and this is your deadline. So if you want to work overtime because you've been slacking off, then I don't recommend it, but by all means, that's your choice. And if you want to break it up, day by day, increments by increments, then that's also your choice. But it is very important that you still remain online so that, just like if somebody was to come and ask you a question at your desk, you still want to be available to those who need you at the time they need you. So it just kind of varies. And especially being at home, you have different circumstances, like your Wi-Fi might go out or, something that you really is beyond your control. So I can't really give a concrete answer, but it does vary and depend on you and how you like to work.
Justin, how have you found it between your 2 summers? I mean, you had the same supervisor for both years. So how is it? And did anything change from last year to this year for you?
No, it's been about the same. It's always been very flexible. I mean, especially as we transition to hybrid work, right? I think we're moving more towards you get your work done, you get your work done, right? You work I mean, you still work, 40 hours a week. They're not asking you to do overtime, but how those 40 hours come about is a little more flexible. I mean, I'm not in Blacksburg where I normally am, and I'm all the way out here in Detroit, and I take some time off to drive, that's fine. I take time off for 2 other things, that's fine, as long as you get your work done. You work with the people that you work on projects with, your mentor, your the other feature owners, and for that week, if I'm going to be like I'm not going to be available, just let them know, and life happens, and everyone's okay with it. They treat you just like another engineer, and they have other parts of their life too. You have your own, so it's all good. It's flexible for sure.
Yeah, it is nice. I went home to Wyoming for 10 days and I was able to do so because I could just work from my parents' basement. So it is nice if you have that opportunity, you can go somewhere else and you can work from anywhere, which has been one of the really great things about the hybrid situation and working virtually. Sina, how about for you? Have you experienced anything different as far as the work-life balance that you've experienced here at Ford?
So about work and life balance, like I think like in Ford is like the best place to work because even in my department, they were not restrict about the working hours. As far as you were completing your project, you were good. And like you had to just attend in the meetings and discuss about them. And like beside my work, I managed to like go to the adventures every weekend. I was not like anxious or stressed like other companies. Like my friend were working in other companies. They were like stressed and anxious, and also like they were working also on the weekends because like their weekly projects were so huge that they couldn't finish it in 5 days. However, like in mine, like I managed to like finish in 4 days, and like on Fridays I was just attending to the meetings.
Well, that's great. Yes, it's good to have a weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So here's our next question that came in. Ford internships are unique in that you're working right with full-time teams and not necessarily just with interns. How has that experience been for you? Sina, why don't you kick us off? Well, first of all, let me ask each of you in regards to this question as well. Have you worked closely with other interns while you were here, or has your experience mostly been with full-time Ford employees? And just based on that, like, how has that experience been?
So I was the only intern in our group. I was actually working on the main project. I was very happy that I had a great impact in the progress of the project. And like we had a meeting for overview of the project, and like I had one slide and like 1 minute for me to describe about the things I have done. I was kind of like I was part of a main group. I was so happy that I had a great impact in the progress of the project. I would like to see the future of this project.
Awesome. And Justin, what about for you?
Yeah, so this summer I'm also the only intern within the software group, and so I've been working with all full-time engineers. I did the same thing last summer. It's definitely nice. Like I've definitely connected with other interns. We're not in the same departments, not doing the same work, but when you're working, you're treated like a full-time engineer, and that can be a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, but they make sure they work with you. You learn a lot from school, and a lot of times you have new and different ideas that they want to implement. So the resource is always available to you. Really just, trust in yourself. Don't let the imposter syndrome get to you. And it's great.
Awesome. And Jordan, what about for you? How has that been?
Actually, in my department, there are two other interns, but we didn't work closely together. We just basically worked like a normal full-time team. There weren't any like anything that was just an intern thing or just a full-time employee thing. It was just, you're a normal employee. You're employed by Ford. You're getting paid. So they don't treat you any differently, and I like that.
Awesome. All right, the next question. We're nearing the end of the time. There are so many questions that have come in. I just want to say thank you. There's so many. I know we're not going to be able to get to them all, but I'm going to copy and paste these, and whatever I can get to you afterwards, I will be happy to do so. All right, our next one. What advice would you give to someone who is on the fence about applying to Ford? Justin, what do you have to say to that?
I don't know. I mean, why would you be on the fence to apply to Ford? Just do it.
Just do it. I love it.
But I mean, to be honest, yeah, just apply. The only way you're not going to get in is if you don't apply. Good things about Ford are like, this is the future, right? The auto industry is going into like a once in a century revolution, right? Ford's been here for 117 years, and we plan to be here for another 117 years. The way we're going to do that is by electrifying, by having connected vehicles, and it's good to see that that the Ford executive leadership is aware of this. If we look at the smartphone revolution, the companies that were really big, Nokia, BlackBerry, they're not really here anymore. But Ford has every intention of being here, and we're already starting to do the work, even if we still have a lot of combustion engine vehicles. But we're not waiting around to let the future take us by surprise. We're here, so it's good to be at a company that's has such history, but is also future facing. We're not tied to the past. We always look to the future.
I love that. Does anyone have anything else to add? A reason that you would say choose Ford over another company that someone could have the possibility of working at?
You miss 100% of shots that you do not take. And if you are on the fence or you're trying to choose between two companies, I would just attend their events like these where you can meet real people and to hear their experiences. LinkedIn is also like a major thing. Connecting with other employees, see what other projects interns are working with. You may be even able to connect with maybe a supervisor and you can talk with them like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm interested in. Where do you think I'll be best fit? Your school alumni. So there's a whole bunch of different resources you can to make your decision or an informed decision. And it will be very smart in the right thing to do to just utilize your resources. Networking is important.
You got it. That is so true. And everyone who is here is from Handshake. So, I mean, Handshake is a really fantastic platform. There's lots of ways to connect. And feel free, anyone out there who's listening, if you have questions about Ford after this event, reach out to me on Handshake. I will be happy to answer them for you. And if I don't know the answer, I will find someone who does. Tina, what about you? Do you have anything to add to why someone should choose Ford over somewhere else to work?
Like Ford has some FCG programs that they are for new graduate students that you work like for 3 years in like different areas. Like you have all like every 6 months or every year you have a rotation, which helps you to find like your interest. Like when you're studying in academy, you're saying just robotics, but robotics has like many branches. So you work in each of the branches and you get known with the team members. Maybe you don't like your manager, or maybe you are not convenient with your teammates. Then you change your group in 6 months and you get known with the other groups. I would suggest like apply for the fourth. And also like there are some other companies that they pay you more, like they pay you like 20K more, but they ask you for more work um, in comparison to paying you more.
So someone asked in the chat here, how do you stand out as a candidate? Like if someone is applying for Ford, what does anyone have any advice on how to stand out in the crowd?
Yeah,
This
sure.
is just my, oh, you can go ahead, Justin.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that you can see here that we're all from different backgrounds. We have different schools. We all do different things. So, you know, the people that work at Ford are not just one monolithic group. But the way you stand out is that, like, you know, you care about the products that we're working on. You care about the future of mobility. And you're excited to come into work every day. You know, the work we do is, you know, it's difficult work. Not every company has done it, and very few companies do it. So being able to work through it, really having a passion for your job, I think that really makes a difference. And experience, school, you know, that all comes from it. If you like doing something, then you're gonna go seek it out. So that's ultimately the answer, I feel like.
Awesome. And Jordan, what were you going to add?
I was just going to add that you are your personal brand. So you don't have to fit in. You don't have to do what Cena, Justin, or I do, or feel like you need to have the same characteristics that we do. There are things that make you different. There are things that make you unique, and better for some jobs than maybe I would be, qualified for those jobs. So I would just really market myself as, this is who I am. This is my personality. This is what I have to offer, and just go for it. There, you just need to not feel the pressure of having to be this person that's like in a box, if you get what I'm saying.
I get it completely. I've never felt more okay with being who I am at a job than I do at Ford. It is the reason I got hired. It is the reason I'm so happy here. Bringing my full self to work is something that's encouraged here, and it makes it an amazing, amazing experience, Jordan, 100%. Sina, do you have anything to add to that?
I would suggest like everyone is unique, and like you should be yourself and just present yourself. And also I would suggest don't like try to like have more connections as possible, and try to know like what your managers are looking for, and try to impress, show yourself, and like maybe like you can, maybe they're looking for a programmer, you can like more focus on the programming part of yourself.
Fantastic. And I know I mentioned it at the beginning, it's not always about your major. It can be about your experiences. If you have performed in hackathons, if you have designed some websites, like those are very important skills as well. So make sure to highlight those when you're applying, in your interviews, and your experiences are very, very important. So make sure to highlight those as well. All right, so we're just about out of time. I have one last question, and it is, what is your favorite Ford vehicle? It can be new, and it could be classic, whatever you'd like it to be. Jordan, why don't you tell us first?
Gosh, I don't really have an answer. Well, before I got my first car, which was an Infinity, I wanted a Ford F-150 because I just wanted a truck. I'm a creative person, and I knew that I'd be wanting to do all types of projects and those things. So I guess I would say, an F-150, and it's a car I definitely plan to have in the future as well. So, surprise!
I'm right there with you. What about you, Sina? What's your favorite Ford vehicle?
Well, I like speeding, so I would choose Ford Mustang Shelby GT500.
All right. What color? I guess that's the thing I should have asked too.
Black.
Black. All right. Awesome. Jordan, what color F-150 would you have?
Black with a black exterior.
All right. And Justin, close us out. What is your favorite Ford vehicle and color as well?
So I think the answer I'm supposed to say we're an EV group would be the Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning. And they're definitely really cool vehicles, definitely signaling the future. It's really cool to work on them, but What was it, Ryan? But an irresponsible amount of my paycheck goes towards saving towards a Mustang GT, also in black, black on black. So it seems to be a common theme here. Maybe the trick to getting internship at Ford is you like black cars.
Well, I want a pink F-150. I don't know if it exists, but that's what I want. I'm going to change up that color. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much. That's all we have time for. I'd like to give a huge thank you to my awesome panelists, Jordan, Sina, Justin. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I hope the rest of your summer is great. Good luck with your final projects. And I want to thank you, yes, you out there watching, listening. I'm going to go through these questions. We will get back to you wherever I can. Again, reach out to me on Handshake if you have any questions at all. Fall's quickly approaching. Around Labor Day, you can find all of our Ford internship positions posted up at careers.ford.com. If you go to our Ford page on Handshake, you can definitely find that link there as well, but it's pretty easy, careers.ford.com. And again, reach out to me on Handshake. We're going to have more events in the future. We hope you can come back and join us. And thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great rest of the summer. And for your school year coming up, I hope it is fantastic. And we really hope that we'll be having you here at Ford. Awesome. Thank you again, panelists. We really appreciate it. Everyone have a lovely day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
See you at
you.
Ford.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
Ford. Bye.
Bye-bye.